Good evening and thank you for joining us. As Tropical Cyclone Matmo enters within 800 kilometers of Hong Kong, the observatory will issue the standby signal number 1 at 7:40 p.m. The observatory says the tropical cyclone warning signal may be upgraded during the day tomorrow, depending on the distance between Matmo and the Pearl River estuary, and its intensity as well as the change in local wind conditions. Samantha Lee has our top story.
A scorching hot day in the city precedes the approaching Matmo, with temperatures topping 33 degrees Celsius at noon over numerous districts. But the weather will deteriorate in the next couple of days. According to the present forecast, the observatory said severe tropical storm Matmo will move in the general direction of the vicinity of Leizhou Peninsula to the eastern part of Hainan Island over the weekend and intensify gradually. But the weather forecaster said Matmo's intensity remains uncertain.
Depending on the distance between Matmo and the Pearl River estuary, its intensity, and the change in local wind conditions, the observatory will assess the need of issuing higher tropical cyclone warning signals during the day tomorrow.
The observatory warns of windy weather with squally showers over the coast of southern China during the weekend. After Matmo departs, the weather is expected to improve for Mid-Autumn Festival next Monday and the day after. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
Macau's meteorological authorities say Matmo will enter within 800 kilometers of the enclave from tonight to early tomorrow. At that time, Typhoon Signal number 1 will be issued. Macau saw some scorching weather during the day. Its meteorological bureau predicts that Matmo will pass about 300 kilometers south of Macau around Sunday morning. Some low-lying areas will be affected by storm surges, leading to minor flooding. There will still be a few showers at the beginning of the Mid-Autumn Festival, but as the anti-cyclone at high altitude intensifies again, the weather will improve quickly, so the public will likely be able to enjoy the full moon in the evening. As the Mid-Autumn Festival draws near, districts across Hong Kong are glowing with themed lantern installations, offering photo ops for locals and tourists alike. But as typhoon threat looms, celebrations could be disrupted with traditional events like the Fire Dragon Dance facing possible delays. From Lee Tong Street in Wan Chai to the Blue House and Victoria Park in Causeway Bay, lanterns are already up setting the mood for the Mid-Autumn Festival. In Kai Tak, a 5-meter-tall jade rabbit and full moon installation has become a popular selfie spot. During the 8-day Golden Week holidays in the mainland that span the Mid-Autumn Festival, some tourists made a special trip to Hong Kong to enjoy the festivities. But the weather may prove a challenge. This tourist from Tianjin says they heard about the coming typhoon, which might affect outdoor activities, and if that's the case, they might take a stroll indoors. The lantern displays at the cultural center will be lit up every night until October 19th. Meanwhile, preparations are in full swing in Taihang, where the traditional Fire Dragon Dance, a century-old Mid-Autumn tradition, will be held for 3 days from Sunday to Tuesday, with the dragon entering Victoria Park on the Mid-Autumn night. Organizers have completed constructing the dragon body, tightening its wireframe in the final stretch. They say if there's light drizzle, they might go ahead with the celebrations. The dragon's 12,000 burning incense sticks give it its iconic glow, but the rain means diminished effects. Should the weather further deteriorate, they may also consider switching to their LED mini dragon to entertain the crowd. But if the red and black rainstorm warnings or the number 8 gale or storm signal are issued, the event will be called off. The city has already seen more than 600,000 mainland tourists coming through by 4 in the afternoon on the 3rd day of the mainland's Golden Week holiday. Some tour groups are now taking visitors to eat fast food to give tourists more time for sightseeing. Celine Chan has more.
This branch of a fast food restaurant in Tsim Sha Tsui is completely packed during lunchtime. Most of the diners are from tour groups from the mainland. Mr. Zhang said the meal was arranged by the tour group and he finds it super convenient as it leaves him with more time to check out the attractions. This tourist said he would follow recommendations online if he wanted to eat well, but he finds fast food a good option for those who just needed to grab a bite. Travel agencies are saying that tourists aren't just spending differently. Even their lunch habits start to match the fast-paced style of Hong Kong locals. Mr. Lee, a tour operator, said most group tourists just wanted some quick and easy. He said Tsim Sha Tsui is right by the avenue of stalls and Star Ferry, so tourists would rather grab fast food nearby and squeeze in more time for sightseeing. These tour groups just provide the basics. Charging around $200 for 2 days and 1 night, it only covers the bus and meals but not accommodation. Tour companies would pre-arrange meals with fast food providers. When the tourists show up, they get 1 or 2 options to choose from. For tourists who don't want fast food, the tradition group meal option is also available. Over in To Kwa Wan's Wing Kwong Street at lunch, there are plenty of tourists. This restaurant is about 70% full. Tourists get some meat, vegetables and rice. This tourist from Shanghai said the dishes were all right, adding that tourists can't be too fussy when they're traveling. And after lunch, everyone lines up to get back on the bus, heading to their next destination. Kwan Ho Young, a local district councillor, said since some tourists started diverting groups to eat fast food in Tsim Sha Tsui, To Kwa Wan's traffic condition has become way better. Celine Chan, TVB News.
The People's Liberation Army Navy's Chi Ji Guang training ship and Yimengshan amphibious dock landing ship concluded their visit to Hong Kong and left the city this morning. The Yimengshan left the Ngongshun Chao Naval Base at around 9 a.m. The Chi Ji Guang left the base at around 10 a.m. After reuniting, the 2 warships sailed eastward towards Victoria Harbour, departing via Le Yu Moon. The 2 warships will later visit Singapore, Cambodia, and Thailand, hosting open days for local Chinese and overseas Chinese to visit the ships. There is increased security at UK synagogues after a terrorist killed 2 Jewish men in Manchester. The suspect, who was earlier thought to have a bomb, was shot dead by police after he drove his car at people and began stabbing them. David Garrett reports.
A new day dawns around 24 hours on from a horrific event at a Manchester synagogue categorised as a terrorist attack. The cordoned-off street where Jihad al-Shami drove a car directly at people outside the Jewish place of worship on their holiest day, Yom Kippur. The 35-year-old was unable to gain access, so attacked people outside, killing 2 men, 53-year-old Adrian Dolby and Melvin Kravitz, who was 66.
Driver of the car was seen then to attack people with a knife. He was wearing about his body a vest which had the appearance of an explosive device. Following a rapid response, armed officers from Greater Manchester Police intercepted the offender, and he was fatally shot by officers within 7 minutes of the original call.
Survivors comforted each other as leaders from all faiths vowed unity.
Greater Manchester will never stand aside when one of our communities is attacked. We ask everyone to show solidarity to the Jewish community this weekend, and already we've mobilised through our interfaith network messages of support and solidarity through places of worship.
I want to thank the police and all of the emergency services for the speed of their response and also for their considerable bravery. The government has stepped up security at synagogues across the whole of the country, and we will do whatever is required to keep our Jewish community safe.
An advocacy group for British Jews says anti-Semitism has soared since the start of the war in Gaza.
But while we've looked around the world at attacks in Pittsburgh, in France, in Germany, we always felt that it wouldn't be long before something like this happens here in the UK. I think we've reached a point now where Britain's at a crossroads, and I think Jews are only 0.4% of the UK community. We can't fight this alone, and we are going to need to see a change, I think, in terms of the priority given to ensuring that people can go to a synagogue and pray.
Police presence in Manchester has been beefed up as London's force urges organisers to delay or cancel a Palestine action protest scheduled for tomorrow. David Garrett, TVB News.
In Italy, a strike in support of Palestinians in Gaza is causing major disruption in Rome. Public transport and healthcare are affected. Trains were cancelled or delayed. The tracks and platforms at Rome Termini main railway station were largely empty. The unions who organized the walkout want their government to push for a ceasefire in Gaza and an increase in aid. Commuters were frustrated, but many in Rome told journalists they were in favor of the cause. Protests have sprung up around Italy after the international aid flotilla for Gaza was intercepted. There was a heavy police presence at the station in Rome. Railway stations have become a focus for pro-Palestinian demonstrators. Welcome back. U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent said he anticipates a big breakthrough from the next round of trade talks with China, as the current trade truce is due to expire on November 10th. He also noted more support for American farmers will soon be revealed in light of China's refusal to buy U.S. soybeans over the past few months. Danny Zhou has the story.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent told CNBC that it will be helpful for President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping to have a pool-aside meeting during the APEC summit in Gyeongju, South Korea late this month. The secretary highlighted the importance of personal engagement between the two heads of state, saying it will set the framework for trade going forward. Bessent added he'll be holding parallel negotiations with Chinese Vice Premier He Feng, and that the fifth round of U.S.-China trade talks should show a pretty big breakthrough. Addressing U.S. agricultural concerns, Bessent told Reuters it was unfortunate that Beijing decided to use American farmers, soybean farmers in particular, as a bargaining chip in the trade negotiations. He said the administration would work with the Farm Credit Bureau to roll out new measures to support the farming sector. According to Bessent, almost every recent U.S. trade deal included buying American farm products. He said Washington is going to see other countries substitute for China. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
The German government has unveiled an AI-generated virtual minister modeled on the country's culture and media minister to communicate with the public in multiple languages. In its debut video, the avatar spoke in languages including Chinese, criticizing short video platform TikTok for addicting young people.
Hallo, hier ist Staatsminister Wolfram Weimer.
Speaking in German, the virtual minister Weimar says he is a political experiment and can speak without the need to clear his throat, able to talk in over 100 languages. The German government partnered with a European artificial intelligence company to create the virtual minister, replicating Germany's Minister for Culture and Media, from Weimar's voice and appearance. In his debut video, the virtual minister speaks in Chinese Putonghua, Dutch, Polish, and French. He slams video sharing platform TikTok, which has about 25 million active users in Germany, for making young people become addicted and encouraging dangerous trends and distorted beauty ideals.
因此我说，想在欧洲开展业务的企业
In Chinese, he says companies that want to do business in Europe should toe European rules. They include transparency, accountability, effective youth protection, fairness, and freedom of speech. The virtual minister adds that artificial intelligence brings new opportunities for creativity, culture, and communication. But it also comes with potential risks of deepfake technology, misinformation, and a lack of transparency. Earlier, Albania appointed a chatbot as its Minister of Public Procurement, and Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has also introduced a virtual spokesperson. Some German media have warned of potential risks as society grows accustomed to governments using virtual avatars, noting the line between reality and digital realms may blur, and the decisions made through democratic mechanisms may also become technology-led, diminishing the human role in governance. China issued the first batch of mainland personal loans to Hong Kong residents working in Shenzhen, marking a breakthrough in the Shenzhen-Hong Kong cross-border financial pilot program. By leveraging blockchain with full user consent, the pilot program enables banks to instantly verify the credit records of Hong Kong residents. The system fills the gap in personal credit information between Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland for cross-border borrowing. 3 Hong Kong residents working in Shenzhen became the first borrowers. In the future, the Shenzhen-Hong Kong cross-border data verification platform will be expanded to include scenarios such as cross-border trade settlement and wealth management, attracting more financial institutions to join. During the National Day, Golden Week and Mid-Autumn Festival holidays, millions of mainland travelers are hitting the road. But the tourism industry says many are tightening their purse strings this year. Roughly 2 hours from central Beijing, the rural district of Huairou is home to dozens of boutique guest houses, each with their own unique character. This guest house, spanning more than 1,000 square feet, boasts a swimming pool and a karaoke room. One can play billiards and have a barbecue here. Restaurants and cafes are just nearby. It used to be in hot demand over the holidays, but during this year's National Day Mid-Autumn Festival holiday, despite slashing its nightly rate from 5,000 to 6,000 yuan down to 4,000 yuan, the property is still deserted. Chen Lei, who operates over 100 mid to high-end guest houses, says occupancy during this year's Golden Week has plunged to about 50%, the lowest in years, even after ramping up online publicity and discounts. She says the first thing customers now ask is, "This is my budget, do you have an offer at this price?" And one can feel their wallets noticeably tighter, with most patrons choosing day trips these days, Chen says. Chen adds that corporate groups once willing to travel for team-building activities are also cutting budgets. Companies used to go abroad or domestic locations for retreats, but with budgets shrinking, many now opt for short-haul team building in the suburbs of Beijing. A travel agency in Beijing says for those traveling overseas during the 8-day-long holiday, the Caucasus region has become the standout long-haul destination this year. Tour packages are relatively cheap there, offering a taste of European culture. Azerbaijan's new visa-free policy for Chinese travelers since July has cut costs even further. The agency says the new visa-free destinations have become a key selling point. Before the pandemic, people flocked to famous tourist spots, but since then, these lesser-known places have really taken off. The travel agency expects overall business volume this year to be similar to previous years. But instead of raising prices, they are focusing on quality of service to retain customers. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.